Yo, what's good, everybody? What's good? It's your boy Sheppy J,
And the guru, Tavante.
and we're in the building today. And it's so many people online right now. Man, it's like a thousand people watching us right now. It's amazing how many people are watching us right now, man. It's just crazy, like 1,000 people. What's up, everybody? Um, yes,
We're back.
Rock
We're back.
is
Back.
in the
Facebook.
building, man.
Facebook.
Facebook, Spotify, YouTube. What's up? It's a little blurry for some reason. I don't know why, but we're here, and this has been a fantastic week, man. Week. Why do they call it a week? I'm just
Sound like we're weeping or we're
right,
weak.
right. Like we're weak.
Like
This has been an amazing week.
That's what it
Like we're
sounds
weak, and then we say good morning. Like, hey, that's like go hand in hand. Good morning and my week. My week has been crying. I've been crying all day. That was to make me weak. I don't. Good morning. Why do we say good morning?
I don't know.
Word curses, man.
We got a show coming talking about the spells,
Yeah,
spelling.
The spelling, man.
We're going to talk about that language. Linguistics is very important.
Yes, but today, today, it's all about the feelings, man.
Oh man,
the feelings. Now, Tavante came to me this week, man. He hit me up and was like, "Man, I got an awesome show for us."
Yeah,
the feelings, man. It's all about the feelings, and I'm like, man, where is he gonna go with this? Because there's so many ways you can go, but I know this brother. This is the guru. He think on a different level, and I know in our daily lives we have these thoughts and these ideals and these ideas of consciousness that kind of flutter us with so many emotions.
yeah.
But as we dig deep into consciousness, there's something that is being revealed, meaning that it was already available to us. It's just coming out again. That's why I say it's being revealed, meaning
it's already revealed before.
It's already again. It just happened again. We've already known it.
Yeah,
it's just happening again. So it's like we're in this matrix of a maze that we just keep going around and around and around, and we keep coming back to something that we've already hit before. It's all about the feelings, man. So what do you want to get into with all about the feelings? Like what brought you to this topic, bro?
So in so many ways it's been my own personal journey, but then also I'm a case manager by day. I'm an entrepreneur by night. And then the show is just like an expression of like what I'm learning along the way. Because
right.
When we think about what we're doing, it's not what we're doing, it's what we're being. That is it's about what we're being. And as we're exploring our personal lives and we're trying things out, then we're becoming who we really, really are, right? We're becoming those, mentors. I'm a mentor, case manager, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm becoming that. I mean, I really am that, but I'm kind of filling that role as I'm practicing new ideas, which is our new frequencies. And as I come into those things doing more frequently, what I do frequently is who I become. What I do frequently becomes my frequency.
What I do frequently becomes my frequency. So you're saying whatever you do on a day-to-day basis is something that it's crazy because I'm writing a book called The Frequency.
Oh, there you go.
So that you said it, it's kind of insane. You just said the frequency.
Yeah.
It becomes your frequency. So you transmit this energy. So you're like, when somebody turning on, oh man. So when somebody turning on the radio, they can get the same station, depending on where they're at with the frequency that their antenna is being transmitted to, right?
Yeah, they're tuning in.
So you're saying that whatever it is that you're doing, and that I'm doing, it's an energy that we're transmitting, a frequency that is kind of connecting with someone else.
And that is connection. That's how we become who we want to become. So this show right now, we're transmitting a frequency, an idea about a lot of things. And then some folks will connect to this and some folks will not.
Right. You know what?
What we do is we do it consistently. Then we send the signal out consistently.
Right.
And then we're connecting with those folks.
Yeah, that
want to see it.
Who want to see it? Because see, I think so many people do too many hustling. They hustle and bustle by trying to get views.
working hard. That's
trying. Hey, subscribe, subscribe. Hit the bell and subscribe, man. If this for you, it's for you. I've always been this person that's like, man, I don't like the bag.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. If this for you, it's for you. If she for me, she ain't gonna go nowhere. Right. If I'm for her, I'm not gonna go nowhere. Exactly. That's just it. That's just it.
It just is.
It just is. Why are we fighting for views? Why are we fighting for subscriptions? Why are we fighting to be seen? I think what you said is just head on. If we just transmit who we are in our everyday life, we're going to yield that energy to us.
Right.
Rather than running towards something that's not even our frequency.
We just have to put the signal out there consistently and with confidence and strong. And it's all about the feeling. So it's a perfect segue to the show. The show title is all about the feeling. And he asked me a question. So what brought me to this idea of the show and is I want to talk about a client that I work with who struggles with the idea of, well, let's go back a couple steps before. Okay. What do we believe about how to go about this life, right? And you kind of hinted to it perfectly. We believe in the idea of physically manipulating things. We everything we do is manipulation.
Everything. I'm glad
everything we do is manipulation. It's not a bad thing. It's just they're just ways of doing things.
Right.
You know, you can cook your grits with butter. You cook your grits with sugar.
Right.
I mean, like everyone likes what they like.
Right.
Some people just like salt. They don't like anything.
Right.
You could do it in many ways, but as we are evolving, we're finding ways to do things more efficiently and more ways that are in line with who we really are.
Right.
Right? You know what I'm saying? So the way of manipulation is physical. Fire, farming, telling people what they want to hear, you know, babies crying to get what they want, and they get older and they find different ways of doing things. This is all physical manipulation. It's the idea that if I don't do this, then this will not happen.
Right. And if I do this, then this will happen.
Right.
It's just like a job. So it's like they manipulating each other, the employer and the employee.
Yeah.
And so now I don't even look at, today I was in the store, I said, I don't even look at an employee as an employee anymore. I look at that employee as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Because we say, oh, you working for the man. No, you're not. You're actually working for yourself because the money that you get paid, you don't give that back to him or her. You actually manipulate him to give you what you're asking for.
Right.
So you can do what you want to do on the outside.
Right. And your business is your personal home.
Your personal home. Right. Exactly.
That's why you have a social security card. Just like you get a business, you're going to get an EIN, which is another social security card.
Right. Which is, I don't want to jump the gun. We're going to keep it all about the
I know you go with that one.
You know what I'm saying? You know, I get to, I'm kind of spontaneous, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel you.
So we that's what we believe in. We believe this idea of physical manipulation to do something. And the idea is that we don't do something, then this won't happen, and vice versa. And where does that lead us to? That leads to back to my client. My client is a young man who has been through some challenges, as most of us have. We've been through some traumatic challenges, and through those traumatic challenges, we believe this idea that there is a certain way to do something. Now, initially, I'm speaking for myself. When I was a kid, I've always been a very genuine person. Genuineness was just natural. And I think for most kids, most people, genuineness is very natural. You know, you love because you love. You see a girl, you like a girl.
Right.
You know, you say, "Hey, I like you," and they say, "Who are you?" Right? And you're like, "What do you mean? I like you." You know, like what am I supposed to do? I just like you.
Right.
Why? Who are you? You're not a basketball player. You're not athletic.
Right.
You know, you stutter. You know, you don't look cute. You got these big ears. You know what I'm saying? But it was all about that initially. It was all about you just being who you are. But then when you get challenged and you don't get that way because everyone maybe is not that in that place, then you start being programmed that I shouldn't do things that way. I shouldn't be sensitive. I shouldn't be genuine, because when nice guys finish last.
Right. That's what they say.
That's what they say, right? They say people who are genuine get hurt. They become doormats.
Doormats.
Right?
Right.
They get walked on, right? And so we convince ourselves by being hurt that we should join them who are hurting us.
Right.
And that's not really should happen. But we have to go that route, right? We have to experience that. That's a very important process to experience those things. And that's where this young man is at right now. He's experiencing all these things. And then he has the weirdo, the guru, come and tell him, hey, that shit don't work, bro.
Right.
And this is what I tell him. I'm like, that shit don't work. He's like, but everyone else does it. But they do it. And when I do this, and he's using his experience, he's using the negative experiences to validate what he can and cannot do in the future. But the past is the past.
Right.
The past doesn't predict the future.
Right.
But we train to think that.
Yes,
we train to analyze what is. We analyze what is. That's all we know is what is. And we don't even know, because we're so focused on what is, we're creating the future, but it's not the future we actually want. It's the future that we had. That's why we're evolving so slowly, because we're so stuck in this cycle of seeing something and then believing that if we analyze it down to nitty gritty, that we can create something else, but we just create the same thing over again.
Else creating the same thing. It's a carbon copy of a carbon copy of a carbon copy.
That's all we're doing.
That's all we're doing. And you talk about the feeling, you talk about manipulation. And that's basically what it is. It's all we're doing is manipulating someone else's energy to feed us, but not knowing that it's all we're doing is repeating the same thing at a different rate. It's either faster or slower.
Yeah, and that slowly, that's the small increment between fast and slow. We say, oh my God, we're doing something great.
Yep.
Oh my God. It took us 100 years to get to this point, but we got here.
Right.
It's like, okay, yeah, I mean, that's an accomplishment. It's a small incremental accomplishment. And I'm not saying we should look negatively upon our small beginnings. You never want to do that. That's great to be happy for what we achieve, but it could be so much easier, so much faster.
Like this. We talk about the Olympics, right?
Yeah.
All right. And there are records breaking all the time.
Yeah.
But are there really records being broken because you're still doing the same thing? You just at a different speed, which meaning you both got to the finish line. You just got there a little sooner than the next person did. Seconds sooner than the next person did. But the game is still the same. We're still running.
Right.
Nobody's flying.
Exactly. Nobody's flying.
So when you start flying, then you'll be like, we're not supposed to fly. What are you doing? You can't do that.
Right.
I just did it. Just like when they said, oh, he's not going to break the record. He said, nobody can break the record in 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And the guy broke the record in 4 minutes. So when somebody tells you can't do something,
right,
do it. So you saying, Jay, you telling me you can fly? Yeah.
There's more to our life and our reality that we don't know is possible. And the whole point is that by looking at what we've already accomplished, it doesn't really help us get to where we want to get there. We got to focus off of that. So let's get back to the idea of feeling. So this young man we're talking about has been convinced over time that the way of doing things is to manipulate, and the manipulation is not working for him. Now, the truth is it works for no one. It literally works for no one, but it takes us 30, 40 years to figure that out most times. And then when we figure it out, most of us still don't figure it out because we go tell our friends who are doing the same thing, and they say, no, just work harder. And they're like, no, it don't work. But we're communal oriented, and we go tell these people these things. We tell our therapists, we tell about who we're going to, our pastor, whatever, and they think the same way that we think. They really can't help us get outside the box because they think the same way we do.
Same way.
So what I'm talking about is, why do we actually want to have those things we want to have? It's a great question. Why do we want to have this young man, why does he want to be connected to his family? Why does he want to have the independence and freedom? Why does he want to be seen as a person who is competent and capable? Right? Now, he wouldn't use these words because he's like 18 years old, you know. But why would he want these things? Why do we want these things? You know, why do you think we want these things, Jay?
Make you feel good.
Exactly. if we take and we boil everything down to why we do these things, the true reason why we do these things is we think that in having those things, we're gonna feel good. So a few years ago, I was in Utah. Was I in Utah? I think I was in Utah. I was in Utah. I was participating in the MLM. Not important what the MLM was, but it didn't work out for me. But not saying the MLMs are bad, but I mean, like, I've made a lot of decisions and mistakes, right? You know, it's all added to who I am. And so I'm in Utah, and I'm at this event, and they're talking, and the guy said, he said something to the degree that what I'm saying right now, we all want to have this money because we want to feel good. And then I had this echoing thought in my head. I know it wasn't my thought. It was myself talking to myself, my higher self telling me, "Hey, you could just skip over all of that and just feel good." And I was like, "What?"
That's deep.
You mean I could? It was a thought in my head. I didn't know how to access that which was possible that I know possible now. But the thought was, instead of going right for the money to be happy, just be happy.
Just be happy.
Instead of going for the that job or that mate or that vacation or that maybe it's you want to have kids or you got we call it a B-box. I like he called kids a B-box. But instead of having those things and focusing on that thing that you want because you think it'll bring you happiness, just be happy.
Just be happy.
And it's not a crazy thought, but now 3 or 4 years back, looking back, like, man, I was starting the process of getting to where I'm talking about right now. So this show, I'm not sure if it's going to be a couple of series, but we're going to focus today on the importance of feeling good. That's what I was telling this young man. I was telling him, you have to get to a place where what you want is no longer important to you. Now, I mean, that's kind of like advanced, but initially, where you recognize that what you're currently doing right now doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good, and because it doesn't feel good, you know that it's not good for you. And you know that feeling good is what you really, really want. And you don't allow anything to prevent you from feeling good. And so the conversation was really interesting because he was complaining about some things, complaining about some situations. And this is what we do. We're addicted to the idea of complaining about what's going on. We're focused on what's going on. And he would say, but Tavante, this happened and this happened, and I don't understand why this happened. And then I would say to him, well, how does that feel? And he was like, what do you mean, how does it feel? It happened and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, but how does it feel? But I don't understand what you're talking about. Well, just answer my question. How does it feel? It didn't feel good.
Exactly.
And I'm like, well, then if it doesn't feel good, then why are you focusing on it? And he was like, he got really angry. And I'm like, well, you angry now at me, but how does that feel? Stop asking me that question. But how does it feel? Answer my question. It doesn't feel good. I'm pissed off. It's frustrating. But if it's frustrating and you're pissed off, then why are you focusing on it?
Right.
And this kept going on and on. Like this happened for like 30 minutes straight, where he slowly he would not let go of the idea of begging for his limitation. I'm pulling this information from Abraham Hicks. She's a great resource if you have never heard of her. Lava Tracks, Abraham Hicks. YouTube videos, she talks about these things I'm talking about. I mean, this content is inspired from her. This is stuff that she talks about. And so what we do is we want to put the idea of being right over the idea of feeling good.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because we think that when we feel right, we're gonna feel good.
We're gonna feel good.
It's like someone being in the court of law, and there being two people having an argument, and we have an argument who's right, right? And the person who's right is trying to do two things. They're trying to escape the shame of being wrong,
right?
And they want to have the good feeling of being glorified as being the oh, you're right. You know what I'm saying? I like that. Oh, you're right. You know, and you're wrong. You're right, and you're wrong. Right.
Like a choir.
Right.
Like a director.
You're right.
You're wrong.
Exactly. Because we feel like we're being right. We feel this, oh yeah, everyone agrees with me. You know, it feels good to be recognized as being the person who did the right thing. Mm-hmm. And then you feel shame and you feel, oh my God, I should be so much better. I'm so horrible person because I did the wrong thing. Right. And so he wants to avoid being the wrong person because he's felt that way. And that feels like separation. Mm-hmm. It feels like degradation. It feels like what's the good words we can use here? It feels like you being torn apart.
Mm-hmm. Divided.
Yeah, divided, right? Mm-hmm. So that's a great word. And that doesn't feel good. So he wants to feel corrected, right? He wants to be like, oh, okay, you did what was right. Mm-hmm. You know, validated.
You want to be affirmed.
Affirmed, exactly, affirmed. And those are all negative and positive feelings, right? Mm-hmm. What we really want is to feel good. So I was helping him to do slowly is to just recognize when he was in this addicted state of thinking, constantly going back to those things to feel good, that really what he was doing was making himself feel bad. Mm. He didn't know it. He had no idea he was doing this. He didn't know that he was in this cycle of focusing on things that were negative feelings, and that his power truly was in his ability to choose where to focus.
But I think he's chosen where to focus.
He did.
There's 2 points. There's 2 ways you can take it, because actually the bad feelings is probably what's making him feel good. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So, but he want a different result, and so we're now in a state of insanity because we keep doing something that feels good. We think it feel like we're doing something right.
Yeah.
So in a way, it feels good, but it's a bad thing to do because we're not gaining the results.
Right.
It's just like somebody who's married and they're cheating on their spouse.
Yeah.
They know it's not good, but it feels good. The risk,
freedom.
The risk, like almost getting caught.
Right.
Like you ever did something with your significant other or your girlfriend or boyfriend, and you like, let's do this, or your buddy, like we could probably get caught, but bro, let's do it. Let's do it. Like I'm gonna see if we can take this food out of the what's up, Matt? I'm gonna see if we can take this food out of the buffet in this bag without getting caught. Mm. When you get caught, it feels bad.
Right.
But in the process of actually doing it,
yeah,
you get this high. You're like, man, oh, this is about to get cool. It feels good when somebody corrects you, say, bro, I know it felt good doing it.
Yeah.
But you know, that's not gonna benefit you.
Right. Right.
But how is it not? Like, because now you feel bad.
Exactly.
So ultimately what you're telling him is you're going with the popular crowd because it feels good to be included.
Yeah.
So you feel good
short term
because everybody is in agreement with you and nobody's talking about you.
Right.
But the end result is horrible, bro, because you're not benefiting. While everybody else is, you're not.
Yeah.
So when you got to think outside the box, it don't feel as good when everybody call you weird.
Exactly. So that's a good point, because it's very true that the short-term feeling of that is a good feeling, but that really goes back to the idea that to do that and to keep doing those things really leaves you with the same results, because it's the what you've been doing in the past.
Yeah.
You know, and so to break away from that, you have to discern how you really want to feel, how you really want to feel, and having someone tell them that. So I told him, I said, it doesn't feel good for you to get the results you got. And he said no. And I said, well, how do you really want to feel? You know, and to ask someone that, now we don't discuss our feelings mostly at all. You know, we don't discuss the level. We know feelings happy, sad, mad. That pretty much comes down to it, right? But there are so many other feelings that can help us really get to be more sensitive about who we are. That the connection of who we are is our emotions, but we're trained to being so mental. We know.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because
you saying something, and that's true. Like, we don't really want to express our feelings, things that really make us feel good. We really don't want to share that.
No, we don't.
And I want to. It's something comical because I used to work with a lot of great people, and when I was at the hospital, and one of them was like, "What are some of the craziest things that you like that other people may not like?" And one girl was like, "I like the way feet smell." And we were all busting up. Like, what do you mean you like the way feet smell? Like, what is that? Because a lot of us don't want to get clowned,
right,
by exposing what makes us feel good.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, your way of thinking can be different from my way of thinking, but you can open it up to a different level. And you asked me today, you said, why do you do that?
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel when you coming across these new revelations? I was like, I feel good. So ultimately you're doing it because it makes you fulfilled in some kind of way.
Exactly. We're looking for that satisfying feeling.
Yes.
Satisfaction is what we're looking for. And we can't get to where we want to go from having those old way we did things.
Right.
So I'm talking to this young man. We're going back and forth. And of course, he's still addicted to this old way of doing things. But of course, slowly, what he's started to recognize is that I don't have to do things that way. I can recognize that, yeah, it may feel good short term for me to yell and be angry about it. I may feel powerful yelling and angry about something. But really, what I ultimately want to do is to feel good, and that won't get me there.
Right.
And so if I just focus on somewhere else, then ultimately I'll get there. Now, initially, that don't sound exciting. You know, I can feel, I mean, on this video chat, I can feel people listening like, you telling me that, you know, all the stuff we've been doing, like, you know, we riot in the streets about politics, we riot in the streets about race and all these things, social inequities, economic inequities, you know, things that we want to conquer and make better. We putting all this energy into things. And you tell me, what you're saying, Tavante, is that's a waste of energy and it's really making us feel worse? Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's why I don't get into those things, because I know that it's really me focusing on a negative aspect of life when there's so much that's positive I can focus on.
Right.
Right. And then other part too is that not only is it a waste of energy to do it that way, it's hard work. It's tiring. It's frustrating. People lose their patience and they don't want to work with each other. That's why we have these gridlocks in government. People just say, you know what? F it. Or fuck it. I'm sorry, curse. Fuck it. I'm not helping. I'm not working with nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna compromise or agree with anyone.
That's why we want to do it.
Yeah. But instead, what we can do is if we can just focus on those things that are good. And there's so much going on that's good. There's so much that's going on that's like 2020 was my best year ever. Ever. Like there people who are saying 2020 was a horrible year was just focused on the negative aspects of 2020.
Or people who were focused on 2020 being a negative year were in their feelings.
Say more about that.
You feel that it's a horrible year because of what's connected to you that went bad.
Right.
So you feel that 2020 is a horrible year because you lost your mom.
Right.
You feel that 2020 was a horrible year because of George Floyd's death.
Right.
You feel that 2020 was a horrible year because Trump was our president and the coronavirus came and nothing happened. You feel these things.
Right.
But ultimately, listen to this.
Go ahead.
Ultimately, you feeling that 2020 was a horrible year, you took all of your feelings to you to justify how you feel, which in turn make you feel good.
Right. So what you're saying is that you focused in a certain way, but you could focus in a different manner. So that whole Trump thing could have been like, well, Trump is our president. He's good at business. We could focus on those things. And he understands industry, and that's what he's helping us do, right? We can focus on those things, right? Or we can focus on with George Floyd. I know I saw this video about Trump, and I'm not a person that likes certain people or don't like certain people, but it was interesting video because it was an interesting perspective on Trump. That like during his presidency, he actually provided funding to a bunch of HBCUs. You know, now you got to fact check that. I'm not sure if that's really true. Yeah. I know that during Obama's presidency, he defunded HBCUs. So I'm not saying one is right or one is wrong. Don't get stuck on that. What I'm saying is that what Jay is saying is your ability to focus on certain different things will give you the feeling. So you focus on a positive aspects, you're gonna feel good. We talked about this early in the show. But you focus on negative aspects, you're gonna feel negative. Yeah. But I've been doing this whole year is I've been focusing on positive aspects of my life. Now there are a lot of things I can focus on that were negative. Okay, my house has been renovating for the last 2 years. When I walk in my house, I don't see a full house. I see a house in process. And anyone knows a house in renovation, or been through that process, it can be very stressful. Like literally, during the one part of my renovation of my house, I gutted the whole entire first floor. So all the plaster, all the electrical, all the everything was literally in every single room, and four rooms, in the kitchen, in the living room. Oh, I'm sorry, not the kitchen. In the living room and in 2 bedrooms, the debris was piled up from the floor to the ceiling. Floor to the ceiling. Plaster and debris from the floor to the ceiling. Dude, I remember that night. It was about 7, 8 o'clock, and I literally almost threw in the towel. I called this guy, and I was like, hey, I got all this debris. I just want you to come and get it out, put it in your truck, and just take it away. This guy sensed my desperation and tried to upcharge me. He tried to charge me, I think it was like $2 grand to do this. It was some price. And you know that feeling when you feel afraid and you feel desperate. You know, we've all been there. And in certain points, you know, you don't feel powerful and you don't have the confidence to negotiate. You can't even protect yourself. You kind of just very vulnerable in that moment. I almost went for it. And then I hung the phone up, and it was the feeling that was like, man, this don't feel good. And it was so funny talking about the importance of the feeling. He was so angry because I had agreed to him to come. Of course, I didn't pay him any money, but he was on his way, and I didn't like the way it felt. And I started to recognize, man, you know, when it comes to business deals, comes to anything, if it don't feel good, I'm not doing it. And so I called him. I said, hey, you know, I appreciate you want to come out, but I don't think I want you to come out. He's like, why? I was like, because it don't feel good. And he was like, what are you talking about? It don't feel good. I'm like, I don't like the way it feels. I don't like the way the conversation went. I don't like the way you talk to me. I don't like the feeling. It just don't feel good to me, so I don't want to do it. So I made a decision, right? Now I'm like, okay, now what the hell are you gonna do, Tavante? You got all this shit. Literally, you got stuff from the floor to the ceiling. What are you gonna do? And it occurred to me, one, my feelings were most important. It was more important that I feel good than for me to have the results that I wanted, because I wanted to feel good. The second thing was that, okay, if I'm going to feel good, I have to find things that make me feel good. What can I look for to make me feel good? You know what I'm going to look for, Jay? Small little inch by inch section where I can see the floor. Because I literally could not see the floor in this whole entire first floor. I couldn't see no wood floor. I was like, if every day, if I can dust away and see bits of the floor, I'm gonna feel good about that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna focus on seeing little small bits of the floor, and I'm gonna feel good about that. And then what happened? It took me about a couple weeks. Little by little, I started to see more and more of the floor. I got one room that was, again, literally from the door. You walk into the door, there was debris from the door all the way to the ceiling. You couldn't get in the room. You had to squeeze through the door to get into the room. It started to dwindle down. The pile started getting smaller and smaller and smaller, right? And I started seeing a whole floor. Then I'm like, okay, I'm starting to get progress. And after 2 weeks, all was gone.
So you're saying that in order to feel good, sometimes we have our challenges, right?
Yeah.
And in those challenges, we feel desperate because of our feelings, how we feel.
Yeah.
So ultimately, what we're trying to do is feel good about feeling good, how we feel, and little spots of our life where we can just see some promise fulfills us. We shouldn't be throwing in the towel based on how we feel at that moment.
Yeah.
Because when we throw in a towel, that comes back to haunt us.
Yeah.
And we got to go harder, even more harder to fulfill our own feeling once again. So we should look at our mental floor and try to see spots of clarity in our life where we want to feel good. And we know that our feelings, it's all about our feelings, and we want our feelings to be important. So we look at the little spots and we take time every day to just chip away and chip away and chip away and chip away until we see the mental floor and be like, that feels good.
Yeah. It's about those things you're saying. So it's about the feeling good to feel good. That's the important part. And it's about it's not really it's not a slow process. It's just a process.
It's your process.
It's just your process. The speed at which you go through your process based on you and based on your ability to do what I'm saying that I'm doing. This is like my mental process. Looking for those small things. But the part that this is highlighting here is it's the practice. See, all those things are practicing where we focus negatively. That was a practice.
Right.
That has time and repetition behind it. That's what's supporting your ability to focus where you focus on. And it don't mean that it's working for you. It don't, just because you're doing it and you've always done it. People say, well, you've always done it this way. We do it this way. We've always done it this way, right? I'm sorry. I'm like, I'm making fun of my elderly crowd. I love you guys. I love you guys. But we've always done it this way. We've always done it this way. Like,
what works for us, we're over here.
Right.
But we want to do it this way because this is what works for black people.
Right. Well, we say, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right?
If it ain't broke, don't.
Well, here's the thing.
It's broke for me.
Right. The thing about it is that, one, it's the practice repetition that we're missing. Okay. Everything starts in that. It's just what you believe is what you've practiced. That's all that it is. If you believe it, it's nothing more than things you practice. The second thing is that just because you don't think it's not working doesn't mean it's not working. So the other part of this conversation that was very pivotal with this young man was that I told him, I said, just because you didn't hear the tree fall doesn't mean the tree didn't fall. Maybe you weren't focused there. You get what I'm saying? Oh, here's a part right here too. I told a friend of mine, when I was younger, based on my definition of love, I didn't see love. I had to redefine love to see love. I had to get into the frequency of that, which I have to be able to focus there. I have to be able to see that,
right? To
see that it was actually there. So the whole statement of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It doesn't mean it's not broken because you don't notice it's broken. Because it's broken.
It's broken.
But you have become so used to the brokenness of it, you don't even know that it's broken.
Like our government is broken. Let me tell you why it's broken. Let me tell you why it's broken. Because we don't need a government. We don't need a driver's license to feel good. How you gonna tell me how you give me the privilege to drive? Are you telling me that's like saying you got your walking license?
It's crazy, right?
Go get your walking license today because you can't walk without your walking license. This is crazy. So I want to feel good. So if I feel good,
yeah,
I don't care what the law says.
Right.
If my license is suspended,
right,
I'm gonna get in my car and drive.
right.
Why you gonna do that? I feel good today. So I feel like going to the store and getting me something to eat. I feel like going over here on 55th because they got the best chicken. Why? Because it make me feel good. Talking about this right now, make me feel good. Talking about our government sucks.
Makes you feel good.
Make me feel good. Talking about like, why do we even need a government? Makes me feel good. Why am I talking about this? Because Tavante said, Jay, we're going to talk about the importance of feelings.
Yeah.
It feels good. This is why a lot of people have podcasts.
Yeah.
They get to say what they want to say.
It feels good.
Because it feels good. You get it off your chest.
Oh, I love cursing. I love saying what I want to say.
But what you said earlier, you said if you be you, you put out your frequency and you transmit it.
Yeah.
And I've been getting a lot of results by just putting out my frequency and not being moved by everybody else, but just doing what makes me feel good.
Yeah.
I'm coming out with a sneeze and I feel it right here. But you know how you come with a sneeze? It's like right there, but it ain't come yet.
And when you sneeze, it feels good.
When you sneeze, it feels good. Oh man,
that you brought to a new part of conversation the idea that we don't honor our feelings.
No, we don't.
We don't honor our feelings. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of gut feelings that, girl, I hear my mom talking to her, some girl, I knew I should have did that.
Right.
I knew that was going to happen, but I didn't do it.
I didn't do it. I didn't do it because, I was scared because if I've done that, something would have happened and somebody would have said I'm doing something wrong. Because if I do something for somebody that they see me, it may not make them feel good. And I think that's what we do. We say it. My feelings may offend somebody else, and it may not make them feel good. That ain't my concern.
It should not be your concern, because what you're doing, it cannot appease. Well, short term, we can appease each other short term, but it is very short term gain. It's a lot of hard work, and the whole thing, it doesn't get the results we want to get. What we want to do is we want to empower each other to honor their own feelings and do what they want. We want to give people their freedom to do and feel how they want to feel. And so that means you don't have to constantly be on the guard to manage how other people feel. Not only does that limit the other person to say, well, if I don't say or do this, if I don't say good morning to you or how's your day, then you won't feel good about it.
Yeah, that's a good thing, right?
These small things.
This lady, she comes to work all the time. She said she's very bubbly, and and I come in, and because I love mornings, but sometimes I'm in deep thought, so I'm not ready to laugh right now because I'm thinking something deep right now. Yeah, and it's like, oh, what's wrong with you? Just because I don't have a smile on my face like you, don't mean something's wrong with me. Right? A lot of people are so confused in their mind. They want everybody to be the same. That's the dumbest thing in the world. That's dumb. You don't want the world to be the same. You don't want people to be the same, because then it'll be a bore. Your time will not exist, and it will pass by. And I'm talking about the time aspect of you evolving to a place that you want to become. Because if you don't see different, you will not be different.
Exactly.
If you see the same thing every day, you will be the same. I tell my kids this. I said, do something different today. When you wake up, instead of washing your face, go brush your teeth first.
All right.
Because it's going to channel something in your mind.
Right.
Something different that you do is going to open up a different part of your brain.
Exactly. And those are the impulses we receive, right? Impulses, the new ideas. And those impulses are Feelings. They're feelings. That's what they are.
Everything we do in life is because of how we want to feel a certain way.
Exactly.
People want a lot of money because it's going to make them feel good. They think it'll make them feel good.
Right.
But people with a lot of money
don't feel good.
Don't feel good. What in the world are you saying, Jay? I'm saying is do what makes you feel good. A lot of people with a lot of money is doing it because they come from a family with a lot of money, so they don't have no choices in the culture of their family to just make a lot of money.
Exactly. That's what they do.
But if they decide to say, hey, I don't want to be in technology, I want to be a chef.
Right.
But you're not going to make a lot of money. But I don't care. This is what makes me feel good. Cooking is what makes me feel good.
Exactly.
Playing volleyball for 30 years of my life is going to make me feel good because I like the sand on my toes.
Yeah.
I like the hot beach. So let me move to Florida. Let me move to LA. I like that kind of weather.
Yeah.
I like the snow. So let me move to Antarctica.
Right.
Let me move somewhere with Alaska where it's a lot of snow.
Yeah.
You know, where it's cold. I like these things. I like the fact that I'm a vegan. But that person over there gets offended because I don't eat chicken.
Right.
That's their problem. Do what makes you feel good. Because if we keep living for everybody else, then are we really protecting our feelings?
Honoring your feelings.
Or honoring them?
Nah.
I mean, you could have paid somebody to come in and renovate your house.
Oh.
But I see you every time I come over, you like, man, I just got this done, man. I just did this, man. Check out this floor I just put in. I'm about to start my mudding process, man. I'll move this over here. Look at the ceiling, man. Check out this, man. Because it makes you feel good.
Yeah, it feels good.
I've accomplished this. I look at my kids and I'm like, I have 10 children. One on the way. And I look at all my kids around me when I'm in the house and I'm like, it makes me feel good.
It makes you feel good.
I got little mini-me's running around and then just how they're thinking, that level of thinking and articulating, it's just like, I'm just like, ain't no amount of money in the world giving me that feeling.
Right.
To have one of my children to sit on my lap and rub my beard and say, Daddy, I love you.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing.
That is no feeling in the world.
It's amazing, man.
No amount of money you can give me to take away that, bro.
I know. I got the same vision in my head with my grandkids sitting in my lap, playing in my guru beard, I'm meditating.
And then granddad, little Bebop Juniors running around now. Got the Bebops and the Bebop Juniors. And it's just like that feeling. There is no feeling in the world, bro. And one of the feelings is I always tell my wife, I say, baby, I'm just trying to make it to that glass of lemonade. That glass of lemonade is the thing me and my wife talk about growing old together. We sitting on the porch in the South with a glass of lemonade and our little rocking chairs, just looking at the sunset. Right. Like, baby, we made it to this point.
Yeah.
That makes me feel good.
Feels good.
Now, I'm not even talking about making it and we're going to die. No, I'm talking about we making it to that point where we're like, we're old and our kids are grown.
Mm-hmm.
We're not changing any more diapers.
Right.
Through the struggle that we've been through, we made it. That's my goal with that glass of lemonade.
Mm. That's an awesome vision, bro.
That glass of lemonade, man. That is going to mean the world to me.
Mm.
Fresh squeezed lemon juice. Because it makes me feel good.
Makes you feel good, exactly.
Now, somebody else may want a lot of money. Money is a tool. We're going to do so many shows, bro. It's going to blow y'all mind because that's so much that I'm finding out. And I want people to understand this. A lot of people say, all you're doing is regurgitating what you heard. Essentially, that's all everybody's doing.
Pretty much.
Because nothing is new under the sun. Everything is continuing to go in a circle. Everything is being passed.
Mm-hmm.
All we're doing is passing the same information. And what's happening is we're doing it because it makes us feel good, but it's stimulating our mind to a consciousness to remember where we've been.
Yeah.
Because now at this point, in this time of the world, all we're doing is stimulating a thought that's already been.
It's already been.
For the Bible said in Exodus and in Genesis, when Moses was at the burning bush, he said, who do I tell who sent me? I am. Meaning I am already is. It's already existed. You are that I am. You already am. But you're trying to get something to fulfill, to be something based on a feeling that you already are. So do what makes you feel good and stop just jamming your mind trying to please everybody else while neglecting your feelings.
Exactly. That's a perfect segue. We're gonna be ending the show here real quickly, but I think we're gonna be doing a couple shows on this.
Yeah.
But as we close this last show, we talked about the idea, the importance of the feeling. And so, to our listeners, people who are listening, I want to inspire you. I want to inspire you to start by recognizing what you're doing in your current life. When you're doing it, how does it make you feel? Just random ask yourself the question. When I do this, when I yell at my spouse, when I yell at my kids, when I'm frustrated about traffic, whatever it is, or when I'm having fun with my kids, or when I'm having a great conversation with my spouse, or when I'm in traffic and I don't really care about the flow of traffic. I'm gonna get there and I don't really care how fast I get there.
Yeah.
Question is, how does it feel?
How does it feel?
And if it feels good to you, then do you want to feel that way more often?
Right.
Well, then you focus on those things. If you don't want to, if it doesn't feel good to you, and you say, well, that don't feel good to me. And the next question is, well, why would you focus on that?
Right.
Focus somewhere else, right? And what it does, it begins to build this repetitious, the sequence of thinking in your head that when you feel it, when you feel good and the feeling of feeling good becomes really important to you, you never want to feel bad.
Right.
You will avoid conversations. You will avoid scenarios to feel bad.
Yeah, all the time.
You avoid them because you don't want to feel bad. And it builds the importance that in this life, there is nothing, this is my personal thing, and I want it to be yours too. In this life, there's nothing more important for me than feeling good. Everything I do is about feeling good. Mm-hmm. Everything I want is to feel good. The whole goal of this whole life is to feel good. And so the first show was about the importance of feeling good. We talked about that. The second show will be the feeling and the goal, the feeling being the goal and the manifestation. See, we talked about that a little earlier in the show about that we don't honor our feelings. We don't think feelings are important in society. We think mental thought. We think physical action is more important. We don't think the feelings are important, although that's what we're looking for anyway. That's the goal of what we're doing. Are we doing right? They tell us that chase your dreams, right? And because of the feeling, right? That's the underlying idea is that when you get to your dreams, you're gonna feel good. Well, the feeling, even though it has not physically manifested, is the manifestation. It is the goal.
That's the ultimate goal.
It's the ultimate goal. And so the feeling being the goal and manifestation, if that's the manifestation, right? And we can take, say it's the car, the physical car, right? And the feeling is the feeling of driving 100 miles an hour down this road, right? Hitting the quarters, right? The car is just so amazing. It's grabbing the corners. Everything is so amazing. The car, the leather, the interior is so clean, right? We got this feeling of that, all right? We want that physical thing to have the feeling. Now we exchange those things. The third show is about exchanging those things and saying, you know what? I feel so good so often. I don't even need the car.
Yeah.
I don't even need that. I don't even need it. And guess what? When you don't need it, the third show is about holding the feeling until you don't need that thing that you think you need. And then guess what? That's when you get it. That's when you have it.
He said, I got a question.
Yeah.
He said, Matt says, question respectfully, if everyone did what they wanted to feel good, could that be construed to anarchy? Sensible people do what they feel good, but also balance with other people. Yeah, I feel anarchy is needed.
I think it is too.
I feel anarchy is needed because you don't need a government to tell you what you should do every day. Like, you're going to tell me I need a passport because I want to travel to a different country? What's the point of a passport? What's the point of an ID? What's the point of somebody telling me, I need to register my baby when they're born for a birth certificate?
It's ridiculous, right?
What is that? Does that make you feel good, registering your baby after they're born?
Some folks it does. Some folks it does. Obviously it doesn't. I think I appreciate the question, Matt, and I think what you're saying is that it's kind of like in the beginning of during the whole thing of discrimination with black folks, right?
Racism,
right? It's a great example. Some people say we should have segregation again. During segregation, black folks did really, really well. And I'm using this example to explain this idea of anarchy. And so the question is, should we have anarchy or should we not? Okay. Some folks will say we should. Some folks say we shouldn't. I'm going to go right in the middle. So I'm using an example of segregation and integration, right? We had the choice of being segregated, or the choice of being integrated. Some people say, well, we should be integrated. But of course, everything doesn't work for every person.
Right.
Some people prefer to be segregated because they don't want to be around people. And should they be forced to be around other people? They shouldn't. Some people would disagree with me and say, what is wrong with you, Devontae? I will go on video and say this in front of anyone. Anyone who is belonging to the KKK or what would be seen as an extremist group, if they want to be alone, I say, let them be alone. Let them be alone. Why do we care about forcing people into a certain lifestyle that they don't really want, right? And some folks would say, well, you know what? I want to be integrated. I want to live in a community where it's diverse. Well, then you go do that. Do whatever makes you feel good, right? But some folks, I think I like having both. Sometimes I just want to be alone. I want to be around people like Jay. That's when I see myself. When I see him, I see myself. I find familiarity with him. Talking with him, we talk about the same ideas, and it feels good. And then there's sometimes I want to be around people who don't look like me because I want to experience other cultures, and then I want to grow. And then I want to find that middle area where I have a little bit of both. You know what I'm saying? I think what we're looking for is the choice to choose for ourselves without having someone saying this is how it has to be. Because in the choosing of what we want to be, we get the chance to focus on what feels good for us.
And anarchy happens every day.
Very true.
Every day in our personal lives, every day, because we make our own world. There are people who do not follow any rules.
Exactly.
There are people who live off the grid that don't follow any rules. There are civilizations that the government cannot touch.
Right.
There are people running this world because they feel good controlling people. That makes them feel good. But they're not controlling everybody. They're controlling those who believe they're being controlled.
And they want to be controlled. Exactly.
Some people like to be controlled. Some people love being a follower, worshiping other people, falling down on their knees, saying, yes, I love you. You're everything to me. Yes. Oh,
they love it.
I love you. Smack me in the face now. They like
silly.
They like this though, man. I just say, do what makes you feel good. And if we just do that,
right,
I think we'll be good. Like, America wants thieves and killers because it makes money.
Yeah.
That stuff sells.
Problems create opportunities. Right. Opportunity creates money. The problem and the solution are the same exact thing. They know this.
Same thing. So it's nothing new under the sun, guys. But you need to understand that the reason you keep doing the same thing is because ultimately it makes you feel good.
Exactly.
It makes you feel good. I know it's going in a circle, but it makes you feel good. It makes me feel good. Like when sometimes I come home, I don't want to do anything. I sit in front of the television and watch an episode. Some people binge watch because it makes them feel good. So if it makes them feel good,
they should do it.
Let them do it. They worked all day. They want to come home and have a drink. If their liver is being messed up, but that's what makes them feel good. You can't. I told my daughter, it's like me being a chef. Everybody don't want to eat healthy.
No.
So I can't make people eat healthy. My man here told me that too. Like, I understand what you're saying. I understand, but you don't need to feel bad about somebody putting chicken in their mouth.
Right.
Fried chicken in there, steak. That's what they want to do.
Yeah, let them do it.
That's what makes them feel good. Black people like Kool-Aid. That's why they make it. Black people like fried chicken. That's why we eat it.
Right.
That's what makes us feel good. White people like little kale burgers.
All of them. I like kale burgers too, man. And I'm not white.
Oh, I'm kidding, man. I'm just saying, we eat, we do what makes us feel good. You know, we do what makes us feel good. I just, I'm just saying, that was just a little example. I'm a silly guy a lot. I play a lot, like all day. And my kids are like 10 times worse than me. But on a serious note, though, I think it's very important for us to follow our feelings.
Yeah.
And understand that's the only reason why we try to follow our dreams. But why would you? That's another show. But our feelings are very important, man. I think it was an awesome show, bro. I think you posed a great topic, man. It's all about the feeling. I think everything that we do is about how we feel.
Yeah.
How we feel. We on podcasts, we do shows, we go live. People post stuff on Facebook, statuses, MySpace, Twitter, whatever. The technology that's forward and things that people we are motivated based off our feelings. Ultimately, we're doing this because of what makes us feel good.
And the only thing that we're talking about in this show is just we're not aware of those feelings. And so in this show, the goal is to get you to be more aware of your feelings and practice recognizing when you feel good and when you feel bad and what that result is. Appreciate it, Matt.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that's the show today. You want to head us out. Next show, we're going to talk about the feeling being the goal. And hopefully next couple of shows, we get to see you again because this is so important. This is everything. This is like everything. So we look forward to seeing you for the next couple of shows. You want to head us out?
Yeah, man. So we love you guys. It's been an awesome opportunity to be able to transcend and transmit our communication from a conscious level to you guys in these times that we are living in now, that a lot of people are being awakened. Understand your feelings.
Yes.
Understand your feelings are true to you, and how they're true to you is when you act upon them and start to allow manifestation to happen in your life. You protect your feelings and guard your feelings because you're ultimately guarding your heart when you guard your feelings. Don't put up walls, break down all the walls and be able to communicate with people at a high level, because when doing that, that will again advance your feelings and your psyche, and you will go to a better place just by being around different people.
Yeah.
Just by conversing with different people. We love you guys. Stay tuned for our next show next week. We appreciate you guys so much. Remember, we're on Spotify as well. And if you want to subscribe. Be true. You know what I'm saying? But we're not asking you to. This is if you want to. We're totally laid back people, man. We're not, you know what I'm saying? We're like straight, like, hey, it is what it is. You do what you do. We're on here because it makes us feel good. This is something that we've envisioned to do because it makes us feel good.
Exactly.
So we love you guys. And remember, Ra is in the building. Yes, the sun is out. I usually say that in the beginning of the show, but I say it now. I love you guys so much. Peace.
Appreciate you. Bye-bye, everyone. Next time.